Happy Halloween, everybody, and welcome back to a 2-year update of the Sealskin boat cover. Happy Halloween. Like I said, today is October 31st here in Southern Ontario. I don't know if you can see it, but it's snowing. Woke up yesterday, had a couple centimeters of wet, gushy stuff on the car. Ground isn't froze yet, so it's not sticking on the ground, but you know, the cars are cold inside from overnight, so it was building up in them. But yeah, should be a nice Halloween night. The leaves are pretty much gone everywhere. Not much left on the trees, they're all on the ground. But anyways, back to the matter at hand with the video. Let's talk about the Sealskin boat cover. Going into our third winter with the cover here on our 2005 Monterey 302. Yeah, I found the cover online. One of the guys in the Monterey Owners Facebook group, he threw a link up asking about it, quality, and I did a little research, and well, there wasn't a whole lot online about it. Not a whole lot of other reviews, not a lot of people talking about it. Their online reviews look pretty good, but you know, that's on their website, published by, you know, their people, based on review feedback from owners. And no offense to anybody, but you all know that we can companies like that, they can filter out and only put up what they want for good reviews. But anyway, so I bought it. By the time I got it here in Canada, we were just a little over 500 bucks Canadian after exchange and shipping and stuff like that. It was quick. Had it in less than 10 days. I was quite surprised. It came out of California, I believe, if memory serves me correctly. But yeah, so I put a little video together about 2 years ago. This time it went up. It's pulled about 5,500 views, which, you know, for a channel at the time, I was only 250 subscribers on the channel. Now I'm a little over 600. So please, if you did watch this video or the other one, subscribe to the channel. Come on, 5,000 views. I mean, it's not a lot, but you're getting ads. It's not a lot of income to me. It's maybe 50 bucks tops, but hey, it's 50 bucks in my pocket, and not a big corporation. But the comments on the video were kind of mixed. A lot of people were good with it. A lot of people just thanks for checking out because they hadn't heard much more about the cover. There's some other people completely upset with Sealskin and their customer service, and you know, and I can't say anything. I've been happier than hell with the product, and oops, I just hit the camera on the fence there. Like I said, I've been happier than hell with the product itself. Haven't had any customer service issues. I ordered it online, boom, it showed up. Overall, say the cover's holding up pretty good. I'll get it inside and I'll show you some of the internal stuff where some of the seams are starting to open up around the zipper. Biggest thing I'm not happy with, they use these goofy little plastic mountaineering clips to hold tension on the cover. As you can see that one's starting to go really white. On the back side it's still pretty black. UV getting to them. So you can see that one's really soft. If I pull on that really hard, that clip will pop apart. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is take some line and string it through here, and a couple bowlines on each side to keep that tension down. That would be my biggest shortcoming, I think, with these little clips. They're they say the plastic, clearly not a UV rated clip. This is the south side of the boat, so even in the winter, you know, there's another one, they get a certain amount of sunlight. The only other thing too, like I say, cover's good overall. Unfortunately, they didn't take, well, I guess they kind of did take into account the anchor roller on the front here. You can see the seam is blowing apart. It is double walled, but that seam just couldn't handle it. And I had a couple big terry cloth rags wrapped around it. Had a pool noodle strapped around it and everything, trying to take the sharpness off the edges, but that blew through. We had a big snowstorm back in March of this year, had about a foot of snow dumped on it, and that threw some extra weight on the cover, and you know, away it went. I do have, and like I say, I'll show you this when we get inside, I did build a support to kind of create a tent effect. You can see, I don't know if you can see that or not. I'd get the drone out and do a drone flyover, but it's a little breezy today. Sky's cloudy too, so it's not a very good satellite reception for the GPS. I don't know if you can see that baggy spot in it right there. I've tightened it up as much as I can. Unfortunately, you know, as time goes by, the cover is starting to stretch, and you get a little bit of water in one spot. And it is a waterproof cover, I will admit. I have no issues with water inside the boat. I can go in the middle of the winter. There's no ice puddles anywhere. The bilge is staying dry, so it is keeping the water out of the boat. However, what it is doing is, you know, you get that little puddle, and all it takes is a little puddle, a little sag, and then all the water starts running to it, snow sticks to it there, and it builds up and it stretches. So now there is a 10-year replacement on the cover. I'm going to actually send this video to Sealskin, see what they say. Maybe in the spring I'll reach out to them and say, okay, I think it's time for a cover. This one's stretched out. I've got some seams that are starting to go on the inside. Again, like I say, all these clips are starting to come apart. The other little shortcoming with it, I think, now this cover on their website does say it's rated to fit this boat. What I don't think they take into account for, unfortunately, and it's hard to see, I do have a 24 or 32 inch bow rail all around the side of the boat, and that keeps it up. And it does seem like the cover's a little short. You walk around the backside. I'll get up top and I'll show you. There's a seam across the top that velcros open for your VHF and things like that to come through. On this, the seam for that is forward about 18 inches. So maybe they haven't taken full account of the height of that bow rail, I'm not sure. But it does come down over the swim platform nicely back here, as you can see. Wraps down and under. We get some straps that hook through the vents there to add some tension to it. We can tighten these up. It's still pretty loose right now. You know, the wind will grab it and stretch it out a little more. One problem I do have, it sheds water well. It doesn't shed snow very well. Like, that's a pretty substantial angle back there. We're about 45 degrees on the stern of the boat here. And like I say, see, you get a little bagginess in there. The snow will hit, it'll create a spot, and it'll build up and start to stick. Basically after every pretty, you know, anything over 4 or 5 inches of snow, I've got to come out, and I got a big brush out of the garage for doing the floor, and a very big broom, and you just take the broom and knock the snow off. It's 10 or 15 minutes. It doesn't take long, but it gives me a chance to come out and say hello to the boat while she's parked back here for the winter. So let's climb up inside, and I'll show you how the inside is looking. Now it's hard to see it. Maybe I'll go outside and show this. Here we go. So it's kind of hard to see from across top. You can see you got this Velcro right here. I'm assuming that's supposed to go across top of the radar arch to allow things like the VHF antenna to pop through and a flagpole. But as you can see, it's here. Center of the radar arch is here, so we're out of position a solid 18 inches. So welcome on board. Just checking out the interior of the cover. I put some rags in for padding in spots like that where the camper top connects, just so it doesn't tear it too much, doesn't create a hard spot. Right now it's sitting above the back of the seat. Unfortunately, there is some snow that'll build up here, hit it and touch it. I'm gonna get a 2x6 or something, I think, and lay in there in that gap between the seat and the rail to keep that off in the winter. Another rag there for that point where the top connects. Up top in the radar arch, put another one up there where the VHF connects to, and the TV antenna. I get the lights on downstairs right now, so that's why the light is lit on the antenna. The batteries are turned on right now, just so I can see downstairs. It's okay, I don't worry about it. The spotlight I do have to disconnect. I know I shouldn't hang it by the wires. As you can see though, it got broke this year. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna have to replace that in the spring, so I'm not too worried about it hanging by the wires. There's a pretty good beefy set of wires down there, so it'll probably hold it. Up front, things are a little loose right now just because I've got the side zipper open so I can get in here. I did unfortunately have one of my support pipes go through it last year. You can see I patched it. They do supply a chunk of patch. Pretty fair sized patch actually too. It's probably, well, it's probably, you know, a quarter of a square yard, maybe a little more. Some of the spots it is starting to get weak. The seam in the zipper right here, you can see it's starting to pull. You can hear the cover creaking on top of things, so it's not surprising there are some spots pulling. Got a couple little spots. You can see the sun coming through where there have been little holes. But let me climb up front here, because some of these aren't holes from wear and tear. That's a pretty good one right there starting to come through. You can see the sun coming through that. That's a seam pulling apart. That seam, let me see if I get the light the right way. Yeah, it's hard to see, but there it is. You can see that seam starting to come apart across, all the way across here. And there are random little pinholes like that one. And another one down there, it's hard to see. And a couple back there. They're starting to show through. Up here, get up here. It's hard to climb around up here when you're 6'4". Those are wear marks from it blowing. I'm pretty sure it's blowing the wind against the side support there for the bow rail. It's starting to wear a hole in it. Remember, things are loose right now because I had to loosen the cover off so I get inside. Normally it does tighten up a lot more in this. And again over here, I don't know what that one's from. That might be my own fault. But all in all, you know, for a Canadian winter, it's held up quite well, really and truthfully, for what you get. So that's the inside. As you can see, it's holding up pretty good. Like I say, there are some seams that are starting to come open. The zipper on the side, one side is starting to come loose. Gotta work on this. It's got to be pulled back a little bit. So you can see still a lot of sag right there. I'll get that dialed in. It looks like actually the whole thing is shifted forward. A couple other neat little things. Oh yeah, that seam started to blow apart right there too, where the line is. It's got this nice little block here for tightening the lines up. Got a bag that goes over so it doesn't scratch the side of the boat. One problem with that though, if you come around the other side, it's got the same thing on the other side. However, there's no little block on this side. They only give you the one. I would have expected, you know, one on each side. But hey, I guess this side of the cover's got to come down a little bit too. She's riding a little high over here. But yeah, like I say, like I said in the first video, to shrink wrap the boat, to have somebody come to my house and do it. I mean, you see, we're on a trailer, but it is, you know, probably close to 15,000 pounds. The trailer is almost 5,000 pounds. So, you know, we're talking almost 20,000 pounds of weight to drag around. My brother does have a 3/4 ton Dodge with a Cummins in it. It'll pull it, no issue, but it's just it's a lot of boat to be going down the highway any great distances. So if I want to get it, you know, the shrink wrap done on it, which would alleviate all the issue of snow sticking to it because they make it nice and tight and everything sheets off it with no issues. It's kind of hard to get it there, so I got to pay somebody to come here and do it. And the only quote I ever got was about $650 to come and shrink wrap it, and that's per year. I mean, like I said, I can't remember it. It's in the first video. It was $500 or almost $600. It was cheaper to buy the cover and get it here to Canada than it was for one season of shrink wrapping. So I'm you know, I'm 2 years in. This is the third winter on the cover. It's going to stand up this winter whatsoever. No issues. I'm not worried about it. So even if I have to break down and just spend the money, buy a new cover again next year, I'm still ahead of the game over shrink wrapping. And shrink wrapping, there's a question about how recyclable it is around here. I know the farmers use that shrink wrap stuff around hay bales to protect it in the winter. And from what I've seen from our municipality, that white plastic is not recyclable. It's a one and done, throw it in landfill. So, you know, I create enough emissions with these twin 5.7 Volvos and this thing. Let's try and look after the environment a little bit with our cover and use something reusable. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. Like I said, please subscribe to the channel. I mean, I'm not trying to get rich and retire. Well, I'd love to retire in the Bahamas on a big boat, but no, I go to work every day like most people, and you know, get me over that 1,000 and let me make a couple dollars off these videos. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, please, and I'll see you next time.